All right, we're live now. So, hello, hey everyone, and welcome to today's session. I'm Andrea from Galileo, and I'll be your host for this session. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you're here live or catching the replay later. So, today we're diving into a very exciting conversation with our friends at Velo, and we'll be talking about their journey, our partnership, and of course, the future of RWAs in the Web3 space. So, with me today is Pat representing Velo. Welcome here. Super thrilled to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Excited to be able to share more about what we're building here at Velo, especially around real world asset or RVA, especially on that part and our relationship and partnership with Galileo.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll keep this session casual, insightful, and to the point. You can also feel free to tweet any questions while we're live. We'll try to get to a few towards the end if we have time. So let's jump right in. Oh, and by the way, we have a giveaway at the end of this session. We collaborated with Velo to host a giveaway for this AMA. So, yeah, to start off, for those who may be new to Velo, can you give us a quick introduction, Pat? What is Velo and what core problem are you aiming to solve in the crypto and financial world?
Yeah, so in very short, what we're trying to build here is a financial infrastructure that connects between traditional financial system with Web3 or blockchain. So what we're trying to create here is a whole ecosystem of what we call Web3 plus. That includes trading platforms, includes cross-border payments, loyalty programs, and RWA tokenization. So sort of different use cases that connects between the liquidity in real world, allowing for that movement to be more seamless. Um, so these are things like decentralized trading, yield-bearing stablecoins, and then tokenizing real-world assets. Uh, some of the things that we're looking at right now is gold and U.S. Treasuries, but with the partnership with Galileo, we're trying to expand that RWA to expand to cover more types of assets, bringing it more into Web3. And the
Mm-hmm.
problem that we're trying to solve here is limited access, inefficiency within the system, especially cross-border payments, and the fragmentation in the system right now.
Mm, Web3 plus, that's a very interesting word. Is that something that you coined on your own from Velo, or is it an actual word in Web3?
Uh, I think we may be the only one that uses this. It's to explain more about what we're trying to build here. So that's the plus. Hopefully, people won't be too confused when we see this sort of word going on when we say it.
Wow, that's very unique. Actually, it's one of the catchy things that got me interested in Velo as well, especially in this interview. And yeah, thanks for breaking that down. It's always exciting to see projects like Velo that address real infrastructure gaps in Web3. Next, what are some of the key milestones or proudest moments in your journey so far? Any highlights you'd like to share?
Yeah, so we've made a lot of progress, in the past year to 18 months or so. We've made a lot of good partnerships, both from the traditional side. We have a partnership in Laos to explore tokenizing gold. We also have a lot of partnerships in the past with prominent Web3 projects like Solana or Ton. We've made a lot of progress into the partnerships. This year, we've just recently crossed a major milestone, which is 1 million unique active user on our D apps. We've also launched in the past year or so a universe that includes multi-asset trading. We've also expanded our Orbit, our platform for payments, that includes a D app that does loyalty payments. We've also integrated with a bunch of different platforms, partnership with on-chain custodians. We've also partnered with Buildo Securitas, which offers a Buildo tokens, which tokenize U.S. Treasuries. Also recently partnered with Paxos to bring USDL, which is a yield-bearing stablecoin, into our ecosystem. So we've made a lot of progress, both in terms of partnerships and product and real-world usage.
Wow, congratulations, by the way, on 1 million unique active users. That's a lot. So, congrats on that milestone. So, on our end, let me take a moment to share a quick intro about us here at Galileo as well for those listening in. So, Galileo is a Web3 protocol focused on tokenizing real world luxury assets like fine art, collectibles, rare timepieces, you name it. So our goal actually is to bridge the gap between physical luxury and digital ownership using blockchain. Now, Velo and Galileo may come from different verticals, but we share the same vision of making asset backed innovation more accessible. We've also seen interest from a diverse group collectors, asset managers, high end brands, and even traditional art investors. So, if you're watching and if you're someone exploring RWA integration or luxury digital ownership, Galileo might be a space worth watching. All right, so let's talk about the partnership. From your perspective over at Velo, what makes this collaboration with Galileo exciting or valuable? And how do you see it contributing to the broader Web3 and RWA ecosystem?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think when we say Web3 plus and touching on traditional financial system, obviously touching fiat, I think compliance is a big issue. We want to partner with people that is compliant with the local regulatory in areas that they operate in. So having Galileo that comes from also prioritizing that part is important as well for us because I think that would expand more into to more inclusive to people not just in Web3 but also any people that might be interested in investments. I think RWA, you know, we've done RWA that touches on, I guess, the core fundamental asset like US treasuries or stablecoins or gold. But I think RWA can be so much more. And Galileo takes a very interesting look at an asset like gold, like luxury items like art, which it's actually a very very large market. And in the past, in terms of the performance, the art markets and luxury markets actually has a very good, rate of return on investments. So it's definitely an interesting market to bring to Web3. So that's why I think this partnership could be very fruitful for both of us because I think it expands the RWA offerings to people and also bring a large market to the Web3 ecosystem.
Yes, actually, when you mentioned earlier that Velo is also involved in like tokenizing gold and all that, it makes more sense to uh, have a partnership like this. So yeah, that's a solid perspective. So there's so much potential when projects like Velo meets luxury tokenization platforms like Galileo. So yeah, let's zoom out a bit. The RWA space has been gaining momentum lately, and from your viewpoint, how do you see the real world asset space evolving in the next year?
Yeah, I think RDBA has come a long way. I think it's been talked about, and we often see what blockchain technology can bring to tokenizing real world assets. A lot of people, back in the first wave of 2017, 2018, people have tried to do it real estate. I don't know how, it doesn't seem to be as successful and as widespread. But I think the idea is sound. I think it's maybe in a few years it was too early. The thing about investing to real estate is it really needs the trust that when you hold this token, it really has a real world asset backing it. So I think the market now is ready to explore something that's more that has been coined for a long time, which is real world asset tokenization. And I think that it's ready. It's been more ready now because you see, um, players like BlackRock, like JP Morgan, talk about doing this, and that bring a lot of recognition, a lot of stability to the market. Sort of the backbone, and that can bring something like what Galileo is doing to ride on that wave of people are actually doing this. There's actually infrastructure of people who does the audit to tokenizing it and distributing it and bringing liquidity into it to make this whole thing work. So we see the regulators opening up more in terms of the compliance side with gold and US treasuries. I think that those are the first steps because those are the lowest risk assets. We'll see more probably regulators opening more to a riskier and riskier type of assets. Eventually seeing real estate, other types of commodities. And also I think luxury goods and arts are something along that line as well. So I think it's going to be a big market in the coming year or so, I believe.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, actually, I agree with you. The RW space is clearly where the industry is heading. I think over the next year, personally, we'll likely see more real world assets being tokenized, more regulations coming in, and as infrastructure matures and institutions start getting more involved. So, it's like becoming a core bridge between traditional finance and Web3. Lastly, what role do you see Velo playing in helping bring RWAs to mainstream adoption, whether it's from a tech angle, partnerships, or product focus?
So what we're trying to build here is a ecosystem wide, right? So we're trying to create different use cases, bringing different unique users into our ecosystem, and then expand the different product offerings that we have. And each product growth can really benefit each other, right? So when we say we do cross-border payments, we can bring those users in and also offer let's say, a investment services as well, so people can utilize whatever funds that have in their wallets to for yield generation, whether that be something fundamental like a U.S. Treasuries or like a gold yield, but also something like luxury goods and arts that's tokenized by Galileo. So what we're trying to bring here is, I guess the similarity is before when you want to buy U.S. stocks, you gotta have a large amount of money, and then what Robinhood does is it fragments that, it brings the entry point much lower. So that's what we're trying to do here, right? So we want to bring um, be allow users to have more access to different products they otherwise didn't have before. Like if you want to have access to the arts market or the luxury goods, if you want to buy physical goods, then the threshold is much higher. But let's say you can say, I think the value of this piece of art or uh, a piece of Rolex is going to be going up, significantly more than gold, and I'm willing to bet on that. But I don't have, 20, $30,000 to buy a Rolex, but I can bring it in by tokenizing it. That you can say I'm gonna bet, $100 on it, and be able to do that.
Yes, that's actually what we've been talking about yesterday, also in our yesterday session. Fractionalization, one of the best benefits of tokenization, right? It's giving more access, especially to assets that aren't that accessible to ordinary people way back. So I also noticed in Valo's website that you are promoting borderless financial inclusivity, in which you are building an ecosystem for the borderless transfer of currency and assets to anyone in the network, wherein you make it possible for users to transfer, invest, borrow, or lend funds across the globe. And I just wanted to highlight this because this vision captures the true potential of Web3 finance. Building an ecosystem like this not only empowers individual users, but also drives real financial inclusion and innovation across borders. And I love that. It's really about building that bridge between traditional and digital and doing it in a way that's scalable and trusted, right? So I think we have some listeners here cheering for Velo, like Cryonica Assets, Velo LFG. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. So, yeah, let's move forward before we wrap up. Are there any final thoughts or messages that you'd like to leave with our listeners, whether it's about Velo, the partnership with Galileo, or the future of Web3?
I mean, I think we're, with the regulatory stance or circumstances globally, especially the US, I think we're seeing a real turning point to seeing blockchain becoming more mainstream. When you have, banks like JP Morgan or BlackRock talking about jumping into the scene, and be not just an investor providing liquidity, but doing some part like custody or tokenizing on that side. I think it's here to stay. We're going to see a lot more innovation within the space, and we're going to see more real world use cases. I think before, it's talking a lot about potential of different projects. We're going to see some projects being able to provide real value to people and being able to connect to a wider use cases of people in areas where you might not realize, right? So for cross-border payments, you might not realize when you transfer money from one end to the other, you're actually using a Web3 infrastructure because it might be connected on the back end that provides a more efficient route. So I think next 2 years we're going to see real world usage way more. We're going to see way more interesting real world asset tokenization as well.
Definitely. Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Pat. And for those of you who want to stay updated, where can they follow Velo's latest news and developments?
So you can follow us on X at Velo Protocol. We also have a Telegram group that shares the different news and talking about in the community. Just want to highlight, we also were recently listed on Binance Alpha. There's a trading competition as well. It ends in a few days, ends on 30th of June, but there's a huge airdrop cash prize for you to grab as well. So if you're interested, I think there's a few days to try to participate.
All right, Galileans, you heard that. Participate in Velo's campaign and visit also Velo's profile. So, yeah, as for Galileo, you can follow us right here on Twitter at Galileo Protocol or visit our site to explore more about what we're building in the world of luxury asset tokenization. So, yes, thank you so much, Pat, for joining us here. And I hope you had fun in our very insightful but short but insightful discussion about RWAs. And yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much again, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, also for tuning in. Yes, so to everyone listening, don't go just yet. We're about to reveal the winners of our special giveaway. So I'm happy to announce that we are giving away a total of 37 Velo and 1,000 Leox, and we'll be doing a live winner draw right after this session. If you haven't joined yet, here's how to enter. So follow Galileo Protocol and Velo, of course. Tag two friends in the comments of the tweet. It's in our Twitter profile, Galileo's profile, and of course, repost this AMA and the post itself. So winners will be selected in just a few moments. So hang tight, I'll be on live and I'll draw the winner live. So yeah, thank you again to the Velo team. Thank you, Pat. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. And until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and good luck in the giveaway. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So I hope you guys joined our giveaway. I will be doing a live draw right now. Hope you guys enjoyed that session. Okay. Let me just present my screen. Share screen. Okay. So we will be picking this tweet. This is the official tweet of the giveaway. I hope you guys see my screen. I will be picking one winner only. Using this, pick a winner. The winner is Crypto Legend. So if you are watching, kindly screenshot this and send it to our Twitter DMs. We will be waiting for your DM so you can claim your prize. No DMs, no screenshot, of course. Let's see. But yeah, I hope you are watching Crypto Legend so that we can streamline the reward for you. Thank you so much again, everyone, for tuning in. And till next time, till our next session. Thank you.